You're a technology pioneer in the United States of America. So tell us a bit about your, what you do in the US. Your company is based in Seattle. You work with the automobile sector.
Basically, I'm from a tech background. I'm a software engineer. Worked here 4 years and then living in US for last 30 years. So I run a company called People Tech. So we basically do a mobility data services with about 2,500 people worldwide. And like any other Telugu person in the world, or many of the Telugu people in the world, we are all passionate of movies. And when you live out of country, your affinity to films will develop even more. So in the process, I'm used to run events to stay connected with the culture back, and that's one of the bridge for all the people living in US is how we can connect with Indian events, and that gave me a connection into the industry. At some point, I got a little more curious on why I cannot make films, and maybe I'll discuss more in the chat. But yeah, that's how I got into industry.
What was it that sparked you? Did you watch a film which you thought you could have made? What was it that sparked that foray into setting up a people media factory?
Like I said, starting from my engineering.
Events, I understand. You were doing events, but that's okay. But that's not what would have sparked it.
It's not events. Starting my engineering days, yeah, we watch movies. Like I used to watch 4 or 5 films in a week during my studies. When I got into my profession, yeah, I had certain constraints once I went to US. The opportunity to watch movies is in CDs or DVDs. And then I think it took 10 years for us to start watching movies in theaters. Passion for movies always existed, but I never thought I could make films. But when I developed the curiosity of making films, it took few years for me to understand, and I can go more deep. But there's a barrier; it's not easy to make films.
We'll come to that. So, who amongst the filmmakers inspired you then when you started seeing film in theaters in the US, especially Telugu cinema?
See, I've been watching movies since my childhood, and I told in many interviews I'm a biggest fan of Chiranjeevi.
You're looking at building a connected entertainment ecosystem. Can you tell us a little more about that, the connected entertainment ecosystem?
When I started People Media Factory, again, as I said, I wanted to take a factory approach. Again, for many, it felt like and also there was a historical data that says like when you come and make an announcement of many films at a time, you'll be looked as a suspicious person, and majority of who tried to do in the past, making that one-time announcement, failed to deliver. So we took a cautious approach. We played very low. I released about 4 films in 2018 and continued to release at the similar scale every year, 2 to 3 films or 4 films in a year. But we never tried to make the brand more visible. We worked on understanding the system. Like I come from a typical process consulting background. What I've done is called discovery. First, you understand the system, understand the process, and for me to meet my factory model objectives, to deliver volume with quality. The quality era is again what variety of content you can deliver to what genres and what audience. uh, I saw a significant need to clean up a lot of things in the system. There's a lot of inefficiencies. When I say clean up, a lot of inefficiencies in every step, and the amount of collaboration you need to do between various parties. If you take one activity, there in that single activity ecosystem, there will be hundreds of players, and you need to collaborate with all of them. So to solve our goal or to create a plan for our goal, I started investing onto the ecosystem. So it's not just producing a film. So I invested into a lot of post-production infrastructure and having a collaboration relation with the key players in that system. So starting from content creation or the concept creation to release process, we built an ecosystem now, or we are in the process of building an ecosystem. So I have investments into every step in the ecosystem so that we can build a robust filmmaking process.
How do you see you've got a pipeline of, you said you've done 30 films. How do you envision the pipeline every year, or let's say for the next 3 years, 5 years? And how do you go about building the entire thing? Because it's not simple. Because you're following a studio model like is there in the US, excepting you're not commissioning production houses to make it for you. You're doing it yourself, if I'm correct.
Correct. See, typically for a film, from the concept to the release, the cycle time is anywhere from 1 to 4 years. So we've been in the industry for almost 7 years now. So we released about 30 films. We have about 7 or 8 which are ready to be released, and about 15 to 20 in the making. So, and there's another 30, 40 which are in the very early stage of the concept. Like, and with the content factory, there are a lot more scripts that are getting evolved. So, again, the planning goes on. We do across the languages, and our goal is to do world cinemas. Like we want to target more pan world, and it takes time. The journey may take about 2 to 5 years to get to the pan world. So again, it goes by the demand, like hey, how many we can make in Telugu. So we can do about 10 in a year, where we can release in various formats. How many I can do in Tamil, Kannada, Hindi, and what are we do? What is the reach we can take? Is it to a region or to the country or to the pan world?
And what is the role you play? You have professionals with you. You've got 200 people in the content factory. What is the role you play? You yourself, you're one man. There are so many projects going on. You have your own technology company in the US. And what role do you play? And you're here also putting this together along with IndianTelevision.com and our media. We're doing the production part. So, God, you must be having 15 brains and 200 hands.
I have hundreds of brains and multiply by 2 hands. It's called PMF and its team.
I understand. So, but now, what is the role you play specifically in understanding all this?
Developing many brains to integrate other brains.
Okay, so you're basically, you delegate a lot.
I never listen to a script, but I understand the script enough to make the film. So I have a process of how I collect the information about the script.